Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness to the cosmic consciousness and soul control, family and soul tribe. Hope everybody feeling good for no reason at all, operating in the truest and highest version and best version of your authentic self. That's the place I'm in. It feels good to be in that space. I'm feeling good for no reason at all. Today is a Tuesday, unless you somewhere else as we know it. If you're not listening to your intuition, you probably find yourself not happy. And if you're not happy, it's because you're not listening to your intuition. And in sharing that, it wasn't a download that I received previously and was able to write down. It's something that's been riding me as I was preparing to come share what I already had down. If you're not happy, it's because you're not listening to your intuition. And when that came to me, when my higher self spoke that within me, I questioned it. I questioned the meaning. I questioned what it was referring to and if it was referring to me, because the message is always for the messenger first. And then I questioned it in the lives of the people that I know. We always weighing ourselves against something until we have to weigh ourselves against nothing. I didn't say compare or compete ourselves against anything. I said we are always weighing ourselves against something unless we become unbalanced in what we weigh ourselves against. Then we're comparing ourselves to something or trying to compete against something that we think we got to compare ourselves to in the first place. It feels good not to be in those places, but I can relate. If we're not happy, it's because we're not listening to our intuition. What makes that so important? Because your intuition already showed you. Because you know where the unhappiness is coming from if you're not happy. Why? Because our intuition has already shown us. So if we're not happy, it's because we're not listening to our intuition. And therefore, we're not able to feel good for no reason at all. It all go together. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to somebody. But more so, the message is always for the messenger first. So I'm talking to myself. And in being able to be clear with myself, I'm able to be clear with you. Whoever you may be that come before Saiwoodagod channel. I hope you leave better than you came. If you got 8 windows and you can only see out of 2, can you fairly say you have a full view? I sometimes question the things that come out me and my ability to be able to share them in the truth that I stand in. And one thing I realized in being able to do that is, especially from the space that I vibrate in today, is I got a better reason to live today than to die. Somebody need a better reason to live, if only for the day, than to die. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to somebody. Maybe something I say could be that reason. But we all need to find something that give us a better reason to live than to die. And what resonates so strongly in me about what I'm saying is because when I look at the state of the youth, the death rate of the youth, and when I speak of the youth, I'm not speaking separate from the youth that I'm speaking about. Man, woman, and child is in the children. Man, woman, and child is in me and you. Anybody who on this planet that's a human being carry the frequency of man, woman, and child, regardless of the gender that you appear in. We gotta have a reason to live more than a reason to die. What things can we implement? I wasn't stuck, it just looked like it. They was talking to me. What things can we implement in our lives to give somebody else's life more value? Every time I come and share a video, I have these things and many things that probably won't even come to mind at this moment in mind when I come to drop a video. I hear ringing. Some of y'all may be experiencing ringing in your ascension process if you're going through one. But with everything that I have in mind, I present myself before you with one thing in mind, and that's to use words, commands, incantations to bring about some form of activation or healing in the hearer. I see what it see, and I speak what it speak, and then I'm able to speak it to you all. That's what healers do. It's easy to talk about the problems, and sometimes it's necessary for the problems to be brought up. But I find more comfort, I find more joy, I find more happiness, I find more ability to feel good for no reason at all by speaking to things and speaking about things that can give us more solutions, even when we don't understand it right off the surface. And when we don't understand things right off the surface, it's because we have to go through some things or some experiences for things that's not clearly on the surface to come to fruition. Plant the seed, water it while you wait. Let the sun do its job. Let the earth do its job. Let the winds and air do its job. Let the bees do its job. While you watch and you wait. And eventually, a sprout pops up through the earth's surface. That's the process. You can't rush it. But we definitely got to trust it. May all who have entered into this space, and may all who enter into this space appear in love and light, health and wholeness, and in the abundance of the stillness that you can carry that we sometimes call peace. I'm thankful for another day to share with you all. I'm thankful for another day in this vessel that I call a body to be able and be able to express or communicate a light frequency through sound. I'm thankful at another day to move more and more into higher dimensions with you all as we move through higher and higher dimensions with each other through our own individual journeys. As always, we're going to give honor and acknowledgement to the ancestors. For those who have climbed the mountain, you get to see everybody who got to come up the stairs. You get to see everybody who coming up after you. And as you look down, not look down on people, but as you look down on those who have to come up the same travails, the same travels, the same journeys that you have already treaded, you comprehend the terrain. You know what the rocks feel like. You know what the dark alleys feel like. And you know what's ahead of them before they do, because you already did it. But they gotta look up to you and have no idea what's ahead. They just see you. This is how the vibrational mirror works. Before I stood on the top of this mountain that I call myself, I had to take the same climb that many of you gonna take. And for everybody who come up after you, once you get to the mountain of yourself and you become example for those who are treading that same path, all they gonna see is just you. Be a good example. Why do I say this? Because at a very high consciousness, you remember. And when you remember, you realize that everybody that's coming up the mountain after you, just to get to the mountain of themselves, representing you. So when we get there, we can't look down on people to look down on people. We gotta look down on people because we remember that we was them once upon a time too. And from that space, we're able to reach our hand out in some kind of form or fashion or gesture and help them up the mountain too. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to somebody because this is how they talking to me. You realize because you remember you've been there. I've been there, so I remember. This is why I do this. To see the love, you got to be the love. And what that means to me is, I am the love. Because I understand that love is a cohesive power. It brings all things together. Where in harmony at, love will bring balance. Where discord at, love will heal it and bring solutions. Where anything that's unruly at, integrity and morality will surface. It's what the frequency of love has the ability to do. And when you in it, you understand it. And when you understand it, you're able to see the work that it do by the work that it do in others, by the work that it do in you. With that, remain true and authentic to whoever you are. Find your joy factor. And your joy factor must be found within you. Because if you can't find your joy factor within you, then you're going to look everywhere else for it. And we may run into a joy factor externally, here and there. But eventually, if your joy factor not within you, anything that you found joy in externally has the power to disappoint you. But you can't be disappointed when the joy that you find in everything external of you is only because you found it in you. I love y'all, family. Remain true and authentic. Feel good for no reason at all. And it was good being here with y'all. Truly yours, saiwoodagod.